Welcome to SVL Free News and Views for Friday, February the 21st. I'm here on the campus of Mitchell Community College. As you may be aware, coming up March 3rd, there will be some school bonds on the upcoming election. And we're here, Mike Furman's here with David Bullins and Dr. Tim Brewer to talk about the bond that's up for a referendum for the Mitchell College and what impact that will have here in Statesville and Iredell County and beyond. So let's take a listen now to Mike Furman, who sits down with David Bullins and Dr. Tim Brewer here at Mitchell Community College, and be sure to go out and vote March 3rd on the school bonds.
Welcome to this edition of Statesville Free News and Views. I'm here today with Mitchell Community College President Tim Brewer and Public Safety Director David Bullins. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for coming.
Now, coming up on March 3rd, voters in Iredell County will consider two different bond referendums. One is obviously for the Mooresville graded schools and Iredell Statesville schools, and that's getting a lot of publicity. A lot of people are wringing their hands over that. Less is probably known publicly about the Mitchell bond, which is $10 million, which would help the college construct a new public safety training facility and a driving pad. So let's talk a little bit today about the need for that, and also how that fits into Mitchell's long-term facilities plan.
Great.
Let's start with the need. You have about 1,000 emergency responders coming through your program right now. It's one of your more popular programs. That program is currently housed in DMAT Thompson, which for people who aren't from the Statesville area, that was a high school here built in the 1920s. Not the best facility for modern law enforcement training and emergency responder training. So the need is clearly there. Let's talk a little bit first, David, about the program, everything that's offered, and things that you may be able to add if you had more modern space.
So we offer an array of programs for our public safety, so that would include our law enforcement training. That's from basic law enforcement training on to continuing education. Then we also offer our emergency medical training, so that's from emergency medical responder on up to a paramedic, and those range from an 80-hour class to a 1,000-hour class. And then on our fire training, we do from entry level to continuing education every month. So we have right now we have our growth has come from we've had a great BLET program. Our success rate is one of the best in the state. We would like to be able to expand that, but because of our other continuing education classes, we're having trouble being able to get space to be able to do those. Mm-hmm. So as we were saying before we got started here, we've got about 80 first responders on our campus this morning. They're doing from trench rescue training to basic law enforcement to detention officer certification training, the trench rescue training. So we've got an array of folks that are there that we've had to just jockey for position for our classrooms. Right now we're operating out of the basement of the DMAT Thompson building. We do the best we can with the space that we have. But we are certainly limited.
Now, clearly people understand the need for emergency responder training. If you've been in a car accident or had an accident in your home, everyone who's come to your house basically has come through the Mitchell program or a similar program. So you can't really argue the need for that. I guess what taxpayers and voters will want to see is the return on investment. This is $10 million. The county commissioners have estimated the impact on taxes, if both bonds pass, is 1 penny on the tax rate for property owners in the county. So your share of that 1 penny is pretty small. Sure. So Dr. Brewer, let's talk a little bit about how this facility fits into the long-range plan for facilities for the college, sure. And then we come back and talk a little bit about what this facility would actually look like.
Sure. This process of being able to renovate, first of all, move our public safety training facilities to an appropriate facility, will allow the college to proceed down a pathway of a planned renovation project for the DMAT Thompson building, which will allow us to expand that space and create more modern space to meet the needs not only of our continuing ed programs but also our curriculum programs. So that is very much a part of what we plan to do at the college. However, we certainly can't do any of that without being able to place our public safety programs in the appropriate facility. Right now we use the main campus parking lot for driving portions. of the BLET training program. We also have been going out to the airport for pursuit type training, and it's a good thing because the airport has expanded in such a way that we're no longer able to do there. So we absolutely have to have that. The facility itself would also be available to everyone in the county who needs that type of facility for training, whether it's a municipality or a public service type of agency. That's there for them to use. The college serves the county, and so everybody in the county public agency who needs some type of training related to that kind of facility would be able to use it. But if this bond passes, it does trigger for the college a process of renovation that will allow for more classroom space and students to have more up-to-date facilities for educational purposes.
Now, people will ask, where's this going to be built? Do you have land? Do you have architectural renderings? All those things. Where are you in the process, I guess, of planning?
Well, actually, ironically, we meet today with an architect to come up with some schematic drawings based on the needs we've already determined, and those will begin the process. We'll have some renderings. We've not specifically located a spot for the facility. We have some leads and are very, very confident that that will not be an issue. We would like to centrally locate this facility if possible, and when I say centrally located, somewhere in the middle of the county, so that it's easy access for all of Iredell County. But we're still not absolutely firm on location because we've not gotten to the point where we're purchasing land, but we have options and we're pursuing those.
David, let's talk a little bit about what you need in this facility. What the driving pad entails. Most people haven't seen a driving pad for something like this. What all is involved? What type of facility do we need so we can deliver the best training possible?
Right. So there are some must. As Dr. Brewer mentions, the driving pad is typically those are going to be from 600 by 600. That would be able to entail your police required training, your fire training, EMS. State standards are putting in a requirement for driving for their programs now. So all of those would be required to use this type of facility. We would like to be able to use, as Dr. Brewer mentioned, the pursuit type, as we get to that pad, the pathway into it would be we would incorporate that in as well. So the driving pad is a must. The classroom space is a must. And then the last piece is a storage facility for the required vehicles that we have to operate the program. So we have to have police cars, we have to have fire truck, so that right now we're storing all those outside. So those are must, and then from there we'll go. We have advisory groups for each of our programs: fire, police, law enforcement, and EMS. So we've talked with all those groups, very supportive, and we'll get together and say what's going to make the most need and what things overlap. So that's where we're going with. As you said, we've got $10 million. It will only go so far. It's a phased-in plan. What's the most need up front? So that's what we'll start with.
Okay.
And I would add to that, there are other programmatic needs that we know are out there that we could use this facility for. And I'll give you one example: is truck driver training. Mm-hmm. There's a great need for that for truck drivers in that field. High demand, well-paying jobs. We have offered that program in the past, but our challenge has always been not finding or having a pad to do that on. In fact, we generally partner with Caldwell Community College, and we partner with them, and they bring their trucks down and do the training. There's other possibilities for that pad. We've often talked about a lineman training program for electrical corporations and so forth. There's potential there for city and county buses to train, school buses to train, those types of things. So it truly is and would be a multi-use facility for everybody to use.
Good point. I think that's the thing that people want to know throughout the county is who's going to benefit from this. And I think when you look at this type of bond, it's clear all of our public service agencies will benefit. Therefore, all of our residents have the potential to benefit from this. So I want to thank you both for taking the time to talk to us today. And I hope all of our viewers will give strong consideration to supporting the Mitchell Bond. Thank you.
Thank you.